So, FA Cup this week, James, Man United beat Arsenal 3-1 away from home. Fantastic result.
Yeah, it was yet another test for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's come through again with flying colours. I thought we performed excellently, I really did. Sanchez scored a brilliant goal. I know he was getting a lot of stick from the Arsenal fans, but he came through it. We played as a squad like we have been doing. The team have really come together, and it's brilliant to see.
Yeah, obviously, Matt, talking about United going to Arsenal to get a 3-1 win there, top result.
Yeah, it's huge, definitely. And I just want to mention that I think Solskjaer got it tactically absolutely perfect. It wasn't just an epiphany before the game to put an authentic striker like Lukaku on the right wing and put Lingard in that false 9 spot, but it worked perfectly. I think he knew that Lingard could drop back and help out in the middle where Arsenal were a lot more dangerous, and he ended up with 2 assists out of Lukaku and a goal from Lingard, so spot on from Solskjaer.
Yeah, Wardy. Obviously, Lukaku on the right-hand side and Jesse Lingard as a false 9. Tactical genius from Solskjaer, like Matt said.
Genius is thrown a lot around these days, but I don't think in this case it is. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. I think it was very well timed the way he came in. There are no easy games, but games you'd expect to win straight off the bat. Then a couple tests, and he's proved himself time and time again, tactically and in the big games. He keeps his head on. He keeps calm. He lets the other team pass around him, not really go anywhere, and he catches them on the counter. This is the free-flowing, attacking football that United fans have wanted to see since Fergie left.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. Obviously, Chelsea in the next round, Matt, away from home, it's going to be difficult, that.
Yeah, always tough to win at Chelsea, obviously, and United don't have the greatest record away at Chelsea. I think they'll have something up their sleeve, and they're in great form. Chelsea look like a team struggling at the minute. A few things coming out of Sarri, doesn't sound too positive, and just lost Morata, brought in Higuain, so it'll be an interesting one, but I fancy United.
Yeah, Man City beat Burnley 5-0 at home, James. Good result for our Guardiola's men. Put my teeth back in.
Yeah, a tremendous result for Guardiola's men. It really was. I mean, they had that huge win at Burton a few weeks back, and now another one against Burnley. They're on terrific form, and they're on form in a time where they really need it. When Liverpool look like they're pulling away, City are forcing back the issue, and I think that City will come away with the Premier League. I see Guardiola leading his team to victory, and I don't think there's anything that's going to stop them.
Will the FA Cup become a bit of a distraction, Wardy, for City? Obviously, the league is their main focus, but the further they go in the league, the more players they use.
I really don't like this chat because the FA Cup is the most played in domestic cup in all of sport in all the world, and I think people see it as an opportunity to rest players, and I just don't see it the same way. If you're a team that wants to be the best and wants to win all the competitions, well, then you should have a squad that's in-depth enough to want to play in the FA Cup and win. You shouldn't be resting players. You should be just switching in and out. I don't see the FA Cup as a Mickey Mouse trophy as some other people see it. It's the FA Cup. It's the biggest one in the country, and some teams, like most top-tier teams, they just don't seem to want it, and that really disappoints me.
Yeah, City are going to be facing either Middlesbrough or Newport Town, James, in the next round. Another easy round for the Blues.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. You really would. The results they've been putting together at the moment, you'd imagine it'll be relatively comfortable for them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, let's talk about the other cup upsets. Tottenham lost to Palace 2-0. Everton were defeated away at Millwall 3-2. And Wimbledon beat West Ham 4-2. The excitement, the FA Cup is alive and well, James.
Yeah, absolutely. They say the magic of the Cup really comes with the FA Cup, one of the greats, and that's what I see happening. There's been some huge upsets. Tottenham have obviously been struggling anyway with the injuries they've had with Dele Alli and Kane, etc. Tough time for them at the moment. It really has been. It wasn't too long ago we were thinking maybe they can win the league, and now it's all gone wrong for them, so hopefully they can put something back together in the latter stage of the season. But no, as you said, FA Cup, home of upsets.
Yeah, the game's on tonight. United are at home to Burnley. Matt, you've got the team news there for United.
Yeah, another must-win for United tonight at Old Trafford. The team news is De Gea in net, Ashley Young, Victor Lindelof, Phil Jones and Luke Shaw across the back four. Pereira comes into the side. Matic and Pogba in the midfield as well. Lukaku, Rashford and Mata make up the front three.
Yeah, obviously gone strong there, James.
Yeah, they absolutely are. It's a good side. A couple of, people missing. Martial's not in there. Sanchez is in there. But I still think it's a good enough side to get the victory.
Obviously important, Wardy, that Man United keep winning. Obviously they're on a 9-game unbeaten run. But one defeat and you're back in the queue again.
Yeah, winning and losing are both hard habits to drop. Once you're winning, it feels like you can't do anything else, and once you're losing, you feel like the next victory will never come. We're getting into the latter stages of the season now, where I think it's all about the mentality now. It's all about the professionalism and the discipline. We all know they're talented footballers. We all know they're capable of producing world-class football on the day, but I think this is the end game now. It's all about keeping your head, keeping consistent, and not throwing away points when it's absolutely necessary to keep them.
Yeah, I suppose, Matt, Guardiola's used to playing in this way, and so obviously City will be able to compete at the very top level in games like that.
Yeah, I mean, City have probably got the strongest squad in all of Europe at this moment in time. Their squad depth is huge. And it shouldn't be a problem for City to compete on four fronts actually, with the League Cup as well. I fancy City to go all the way in the league, and I think they'll win tonight as well.
Yeah, looking at the City team for tonight, got Edison in goal, Walker, Stones, is it Laporte, Danilo, Fernando, Silva, De Bruyne, Sané, Sterling, Aguero. So that's a quite a lineup that, Wardy.
Yeah, obviously, like we were just saying, the City team is one of the strongest in depth in Europe, if not the world, and you'd expect them to go out tonight and win comfortably.
Yeah, let's talk about our other local side. Salford City FC were away at Halifax at weekend, Matt, and drew 0-0. What do you think of that result?
Yeah, another draw after the draw last week. Not the same outlook on it this week. I think last week was a missed opportunity with Leyton Orient losing their opportunity to go top of the league. This week is a tough away fixture at Halifax. I think it's a good result, good draw, and a point picked up.
Yeah, second in the league though, so it's not the worst thing in the world, is it?
No, plenty of points left to play for as well. There's no rush just yet.
Yeah, and then Maidstone in the FA Trophy, hopefully a win there.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, so that's all your football chat for this week. And next up, we're going to be talking rugby league and boxing with Paul Whiteside.
Well, Paul, one of the greatest fighters on these shores in the last few years, George Groves, has officially announced his retirement. He's had an unbelievable career. We think back to the likes of his fights with Carl Froch, James DeGale, Chris Eubank Jr., Badou Jack. He personified a man who never gave up, won a world title at the fourth attempt. What a legacy he's left. What do you think about his career all in all as we look back on it?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I was reading what Carl Froch said the other day. I thought they're best mates, them two, but it takes two fighters to make a great fight, and the two fights that those two guys had were tremendous fights, weren't they? I know there was a bit of animosity in the build-up to them, but I think George Groves was a great boxer, to be honest with you. Like you said, he took him 4 attempts to win his world title, but he's a guy who never gave in, and he had some punishing defeats really as well, didn't he? Especially the two against Froch, especially the second one. That was a heck of a knockout, and I think it was a surprise to me when I heard that he was retiring. I think he's only 30, but he's where he goes next, I suppose. And I think he's got a young family, and you don't want to go on too long, dear, and lose your marbles and end up, injuring yourself and suffering in later life. So I think perhaps he has made the right decision. I know his last defeat against Callum Smith, I thought that was quite one-sided, really, and where does he go from here? But he's won a world title. He's achieved everything I think he wanted to in the sport, and and good luck to him in the future. But no, he's been a very entertaining guy, and like the names you've just mentioned there, James, he's been in with some fantastic fighters, never shirked anybody, and been in some great fights.
Yeah, I just want to say, last one on George Groves. I was there the night in Sheffield when he won his world title, when he finally crossed the line against Fedor Chudinov, and what a moment it was, and I'll never forget that night, and I wish George Groves all the best in his retirement. Anyway, moving on to the weekend's action, Keith Thurman was back against Josecito Lopez, the WBA welterweight world champion. He's been out for a while. He looks slightly jaded on his return to the ring. Do you think he needs another couple of fights before he gets in the ring with the likes of Spence and Crawford?
Well, definitely. I think we spoke about that last week, didn't we? About like Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. They are elite level boxers, aren't they now? And you don't want to be jumping in with them if you're undercooked, do you? So yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think you need a few more tune-up fights before he moves up to that level, because you are talking a level above there, aren't you? And they talk about these pound for pound best fighters in the world. Well, you just mentioned two of them there, so definitely I'd say a few more warm-up fights before you can be stepping in with those guys.
Now, a man who's announcing himself on the heavyweight scene, he's officially got himself into the world top 10, is Adam Kownacki. He's putting a decent little run together. He's beat Artur Spilka, Charles Martin, who was defeated by Anthony Joshua for the world title, and now Gerald Washington. He's called out Deontay Wilder. It's good to have a new Polish superstar in the mix. He's got big support out there in Brooklyn.
Yeah, definitely. And there's some big fights there. The names you've just mentioned there, the likes of Charles Martin, these guys have been in, with Joshua and some of the big boys, haven't they? And if you're knocking those sort of guys out and beating those guys, you're putting yourself in the frame and in line for world title shots, aren't you? And guys like Joshua and Deontay Wilder are going to be looking at you for the shot. So good luck there. I'm sure he'll get some fights coming his way.
Yeah, big heavyweight fight's just been announced. We've not actually got a date for it yet. Two of my favourite fighters, so I'm a bit emotional that this one's been made, but it should be a good fight. Dave the White Rhino Allen versus Lucas Big Daddy Browne. Should be a cracking contest. There's elements of the unknown. Dave Allen coming in shape probably for the first time ever. Lucas Browne, what's he got left after that Dillian White fight? Is this one you're interested in, Paul?
He certainly is, yeah. I'm a big fan of Dave Allen. I think he's a nice guy outside the ring as well, and he's a bit of a comedian sometimes. I would like to see Dave Allen fight David Price. I know David Price is after that fight, and those two fighters are both guys who I like to see fight. I think they're both entertaining lads, both British as well. But Lucas Browne, as you said there, how long has he got left in him? He's had some punishing fights, but it's a big test for Dave Allen, and he's had trouble before, hasn't he? Sort of keeping his fitness and keeping his focus and keeping himself in the gym, and let's hope he's got rid of that now, and he is in the gym, and he's being strict. He's doing his dieting and getting himself in the best possible shape, because Lucas Browne's no mug, and Dave Allen I think's got a lot of potential. I think he'll openly admit he's probably not a world level fighter, but I think he's definitely a European level fighter and a British level fighter, and boxing's a sport where you want to see how far you can go, and I don't think it's right to write things off. You can progress, and let's see if he can get past Lucas Browne and see where his career takes him. But I wouldn't take Lucas Browne lightly whatsoever.
Yeah, this year we've had the likes of David A, Tony Bellew, George Groves all retired. Fighters who I've sort of grown up with. Now the new wave is coming through. This weekend at the O2 Arena, Ted Cheeseman is challenging Sergio Garcia for the European title. And you're excited to see what this new breed of talent has to bring.
I think Paul's gone again.
Paul's gone?
Not again.
Right, okay. As for that Ted Cheeseman fight, I think he'll win the European title this weekend. It's a good little step up for him, and I fancy him for the win. Sergio Garcia isn't a mug. He's got an undefeated record, but I think Cheeseman wins, and I think he'll win well.
Obviously, there's lots of big fights out there, James. What are you looking forward to the most in 2000?
At the moment, there's a big one just been announced, actually, for a card in Liverpool. It's on the undercard there. Anthony Fowler versus Scott Fitzgerald. Now, for those who don't know, I'm from Preston, and we've sort of been lacking that star. We haven't had one for a very long time. Scott Fitzgerald is a Commonwealth gold medalist, and I'm hoping he's going to be the man. He's got a serious test for him going into the backyard of Anthony Fowler in Liverpool, the cousin of Robbie Fowler. He's got a lot of local support, but I'm hoping and praying Scott Fitzgerald can do a job for our city, and he's got a deep down night in his hand, our stadium, and I hope he can headline there.
Yeah, we're hoping for a big year for Anthony Joshua too as well.
Yeah, we absolutely are. He's in a bit of a difficult situation, really, because the two big boys alongside him, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, they're negotiating with each other for a rematch. So that's obviously going to happen most likely in the States. Anthony Joshua's looking at either Jarrell Big Bailey Miller or Dillian White in a rematch. One of those two most likely. If it's Miller, it will be in the States. Joshua making his debut out there. I think if it is to be Miller, I think he'd deal with him relatively comprehensively. Big, strong man, big baby, ex-world kickboxing champion, but ultimately I think he gets hit far too much, and if you're getting hit by Joshua's power, you're going to go down. I think the White fight's a little bit more interesting. He's looked incredible in his last few fights against Lucas Browne, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora. That'd be the one I'd opt for.
What about the Wilder Fury rematch, James? Because I know you still see them from that. I know you haven't recovered. So what do you want to see happen? When do you want it to happen? Where do you want it to happen? And who do you want to win? I think that last one's a silly question.
Well, it is a silly question. You know, I'm a huge fan of the Furies one, Tyson Fury. I've been telling people for years that this man is the best in the division, and finally people are starting to believe me. Look, as for getting over that fight, I think first time around it took about 10 years off my life. It really did. Seeing Tyson Fury go down in that 12th round and rise from the ashes like Jesus on Easter Sunday, it was incredible. It really was. As for where this rematch is, I think it's most likely going to be in Brooklyn at the Barclays Centre. Showtime have a great relationship with them. For British fans, that's not too bad. It's just a hop, skip and a jump over the pond. Time wise, it's better location. As for where I'd like it to be, Look, we all want that Old Trafford day. I think that's what Fury wants, and I think that's something the Manchester public and the whole public can get behind. He's been so hated in the past by the British public, but now everybody's warmed to him. They've warmed to this journey of depression and alcoholism, and people love the Furious One now, and it's brilliant for me to see.
He is a man of the people now, isn't he, Rob?
Yeah, do you agree with that one?
Oh, of course. Because he's right. I wasn't a big fan of Fury a couple of years back. Like, and I know he's arrogant, yeah, and I know he's a boxer, and I know that's part of the course, but it stuck out, didn't it, his arrogance? But everybody loves an underdog, and everybody loves a hero story, and he has risen from rock bottom, and he is back, and we all wanted to see him beat Wilder, and we all kind of did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It was a decision that was dubious, to say the least. Look, brown envelopes go around in boxing, they really do. Certain people get paid for certain results to happen. And I think that's what happened that night in Los Angeles. Look, anybody with half a brain knows Tyson Fury won that fight, and I think most people know he won it relatively comprehensively. But at the end of the day, he did get caught in that 12th round. Deontay Wilder will have a lot of confidence going forward. This time round, Tyson can't get caught. You can't afford to get caught by one. You can't rely on a heroic rise like that every single time. Deontay Wilder needs to be perfect for 1 second in a fight.